So, Tanith, Aval, and Lenore. The three of you had travelled to Trunham at the behest of the Sanctum of the Silver Wind, a cult known as the Order of the Old Earth had began to raise the old evil gods that had once been vanquished, and they had come before and tried to destroy the world of the living. They attempted to raise the goddess of death known as Banshee, but Aval, Lenore, Rannoch, Mortimer, and Tanith defeated them and her, protecting the people of Trunham from the darkness below their town. After the events of Trunham, Rannoch took his leave, choosing to head to his home in the Isles to the east in order to protect his people from what more dark things may crawl forth. The three of you opted to return to Kerala in order to obtain an audience with Luka Baranov, Lord Luka Baranov, the Queen's ear, who is her top advisor and Aval's sort of key mentor, probably to some extent, but mainly his boss. He took you about a month to get there, as we said, and when you arrive in Kerala, you find it much the same as it had been when you left, and immediately you are shown to Luca's office, where you find him waiting for you anxiously. He's a tall, broad man with a sort of grey beard and tied up hair. To his left, just at his shoulder, you see a feline creature, a tabaxi, and as you all sort of file in, you see this tabaxi aren't unheard of, but pretty rare. So you're probably all staring a little bit. Why don't you describe Fitzberg for us, Liam?
Fitzberg is basically exactly as you see him in the picture. He's always got a wry smile on his face, deep purple fur, and sort of the lighter around like the mouth and sort of like the underside of his paws and inside of his ears. A long tail that sort of swishes behind him, that you can only see every now and again when it comes out from underneath his cloak. His outfit is again pretty much just like they're very lightly armored. He's got a couple of weapons kicking about, like around his waist. Again, you only see them every now and again. And also, like attached to his belt, there's like a few vials of various differently colored liquids. But he looks very strange, for sure. Not just because he's a cat.
I like it. And then Aval, why don't you give us a quick description of yourself?
So with the travel back, I think we were, possibly spent the night or something in Trunham resting up after what we did, and put our affairs away over a day or two, and then made the journey. Like you said, maybe with a quick stop off in Attis, he would have attempted to have, made a report kind of thing of what they found, maybe with some attached evidence and things like that. Probably with the long traveling, he might be slightly longer of hair or whatever, slightly less kempt than usual. But still presentable. And
hot app.
Quite happy, probably quite happy to be back in Kerala for now, and to have done such a sterling job. And excited for what the future brings.
Lenore. Jade.
All right. Well, I was muted. Anyway, so Lenore also looks a little road weary. Probably has some dark circles under her eyes. She's she's got. I'd imagine she has a little bit of like a kind of like a pinky kind of purple new scar kind of showing underneath the cuff of her sleeves from her encounter within a monster that spit acid. Yeah, but that's pretty much her now. She's got a new sweet sword too.
Awesome. And finally, Tanner.
Tanith is a pale and young woman with bruised kind of circles under her eyes due to lack of sleep and all that other stuff. For Aval and Lenore, you know that Tanith had problems sleeping while they were in Trunham, and like while it seemed to be slightly better on like the journey back, she did have like a few nights where uh she woke you all up with her own uh thrashing, night thrashes, or however you want to say them. But yeah, she's how she looks in the picture: scarred face, white hair, and tired AF.
Sorry, I realised when I said my piece that there was more for Liam's benefit than like summating the journey. So you see kind of like the picture that he's tall and thin, half elf, very obviously, and he's charismatic and well spoken.
I was going to say he's the only member of the party who can hold a conversation.
Sure. And you see.
What do you mean?
I'll just hold very short conversations. He has, dressed in relative finery for his position. You may have even have been filled in a little bit by Luca, that he's a courtier that works for him, basically, and so he is carrying himself professionally, and he has a rapier in his side, a bow over his back, and a flame tongue rapier.
And a glint in his eye.
And a jar of ant acid.
Yeah, that was a wild dungeon. Yeah. So Lord Baranov kind of holds his arms wide and smiles at you all. He's always been a relatively jovial man, much sort of similar to Aval, and he kind of walks around the desk. He says, "Oh, you'll look like hell. Long trip?"
I mean, it's well over a month, so I would say it's a long trip.
Oh, well. I must say I miss the road a little bit. Though I suppose... the sights, the people, the wind at your back, and the
horse shit, the rocks.
I feel like you're focusing on the wrong aspects of travel. Yeah, anyway,
Maybe.
There are more important things to discuss. How have you been, Ava? You look tanned, I suppose.
Very well, thank you, Lord. Everything went relatively swimmingly.
He sort of like bulks at you, calling him Lord. Like, I imagine you guys are relatively close, so...
Yeah, there would have been like a grin on his face, I think, when he did it. Like we said, like the North said, the journey apparently is not much better than a fetid cultist dungeon. We should probably see to improving the roads and infrastructure a little. And he's
well, that is good to know. And you sort of see him
totally doesn't mean that.
Yeah. You see him like he sort of forgot what the verbal joust with you is like, and so he's like, you see him like recalibrating, like, oh yeah, this guy, right? But in like a sort of happy way, you know.
He flourishes the report like onto his desk that he maybe spent some time in Attis or something, writing in a scriptorium or whatever.
He flicks through it. He's this big sort of like loud, happy man, but he's still like whip smart, and you see his eyes like flicking over the details and getting the gist of what happened.
You told us that it was just going to be zombies, not that there were going to be cultist freaks down there.
I told you what information we had at the time. I am sorry that it was so difficult, but you all proved yourselves admirably. And the parties who have noticed, the significant parties who have noticed, are impressed. And anyone with a decent passive insight reckons he's talking about the Queen, etc. And he says, in fact, there is a little more to be done. He kind of puts it aside, the book, or the report aside, and he says, and there is a lot more reward for doing it. You see, we've heard about similar uprisings in a few other places, and we need experienced individuals to seek out these cells and deal with them. It's a pity Rannoch is not with you, but no matter.
He pined for home.
As I'm sure did you, Avel. He chuckles. But should you accept, you'll be granted a monthly salary and a writ of passage allowing accommodations within any city that recognizes the Queendom of Sona as a legitimate authority. And you'll also be granted horse and carriage for travel and such. But additionally, I would like another of my proteges to join you. And he kind of motions to Fitzberg. He has a lot to learn, but he has some very important skills that I believe you'll find useful.
Enchanted. He smiles because he always smiles.
And we've
What
barely
kind of
met.
skill?
Sorry? Oh, sorry. That wasn't me.
What kind of skills?
Are you making me answer that, Lee?
No, I'm trying to think about my accent. What is... I have been blessed with many powers from my time in the Fae. He like holds a paw up, and like pink and blue energy sparks around it.
Luca kind of raises an eyebrow at Aval, like, huh? He's pretty good.
Did you say in the Fae? Or
It's a Fae.
okay, a place.
No, the
Rather
Fae.
The Fae, right? Okay, so
Like among the Fae, it's kind of
Yeah.
among the Fae. Okay. I just wondered if you'd been to the Fae world. Was all. Quite a gift. Quite a gift you have.
I am a very tricky man. So I have been told. By several people.
Maybe just what we need for the cult. Less so for the zombies. I don't tend to go for tricks.
Yeah, they're pretty stupid.
I am very known to dealing with stupid people.
So are we.
Then we shall get along swimmingly.
She kind of looks at Lenore. I don't think he got it.
I don't think you got it either.
Got what?
Well, I can see you all are going to get on wonderfully. So, if you accept, while you're in the Crown's employ, you will be granted 100 gold pieces per month. As I said, you will be given a horse and carriage to spirit you along your journey, and this writ of passage, and he holds up like a rolled up scroll, as well as anything you might need from the armory.
Seems very good price.
We expect a very good service.
Perhaps you could tell us a little of what we might expect.
Indeed. The city to the north, known as Raid, is run by a rather scatterbrained magistrate named Vasily Rogovich. And he has been reporting something of something with similar notes to what you have dealt with. Black-robed cultists, digging, and generally being a nuisance, and several abductions, that sort of thing.
Abductions.
Yes, abductions.
Of who? What?
Of several people, seemingly at random, usually drunkards at night, those returning home from the inn, and the like. It seems rather indiscriminate who they are taking.
They are not all drunkards.
No.
I assume.
Not all, but it seems whoever they can get their hands on.
Is it usually adults?
Always.
And none have been found, either dead or alive?
He shakes his head.
Doesn't bode well.
So, he has asked that we send some investigators to look into this and make an assessment of the danger and a potential plan of attack. That is the four of you, if you accept, that is.
Seems like the sooner the better.
Quite. I'm afraid you'll not have much time to rest in Korala, but at least this time you'll have a carriage to travel in rather than on foot.
It's already an improvement.
He grins. Well, can I assume that you are all interested?
I certainly am. He looks to the others.
I mean, yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come here.
I mean, yeah.
Excellent. All in agreement. I would turn back to Luca.
Excellent. Sorry. If you, when you leave now, speak to a man named Captain Artem Ogov. Oh, again, name in chat. He will provide you lodgings for the evening, and be in charge of seeing you outfitted for your journey, as well as your first month's pay, of course. I believe that is everything. No, one more thing. This mission has been approved by the monastery, and he kind of glances at Lenore. Though, I believe you know a Sister Ventru. She has requested to speak to you briefly before you go. So, on your way past, if you could
Just
please.
Lenore?
Yeah. On your way past, if you could please stop in and speak with her, I would be grateful. She strikes me as a lady who I do not want to be on the wrong side of.
Good instinct.
He grins. Well, the monastery is near enough on the way, so I doubt it will be any trouble.
Yeah, we'll make that happen.
Excellent. Well, unless there is anything more I should know, I have a lovely report to read, and you will have some catching up to do. And you sort of glance at Fitzberg. Play nice.
I always do. Thank you for the opportunity.
Good. Now, and he sort of gives you a dismissive hand wave.
Okay.
Oh?
Ava would just kind of lean in and say something like, on page 2, there's a list of some talented individuals within Trunham. If you need any further information, they have some substances and fauna and flora and the like that we collected, and are doing Queendom proud with their research. And then towards the end, there's some interesting stuff about the demigod that the cult had managed to cultivate. Still in a very nascent stage, but
Well,
worrying.
thank you.
Yeah, there's a blacksmith with a magic hammer.
That is very interesting. I'm sure the Queen would be very intrigued by this information.
Ava just kind of like flashes the flame tongue rapier. He does very fine work on very short order.
So it seems.
Tanith tings her mithril splint mail.
And then he'll sort of give him a slight nod and bow out the room a little.
Kind of shakes his head at your like overly deferential emotions. Yeah. So yeah, you guys are sort of given free run of the place. You're in like one of the sort of large like municipal buildings in Kerala. Like it's not, you know, it's not the palace or anything. It's just, you know, one of the sort of office-y type organizational logistics buildings. But you've been told to go and see pretty much the captain of the guard in Kerala, which you would know is like pretty much across the road from this building, Aval, and anyone who's been here before. So you can head across there, no worries. But if you want to go like shopping or anything first, feel free.
He said we could have whatever we wanted in the armory.
Yeah.
Is there anything worth?
Nah, it's basically the PHB stuff for the most part, non-magical.
Well, you know, stock up on rations and clone
that-
kits or whatever.
That'll all be provided. Well, the rations will,
Sure.
anyway.
Yeah. I'll get paid and then figure out what to do after that.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
So report to captain.
Yeah. So he's a very busy man, and it there's maybe like 20 minutes, half an hour of waiting before he sees you, and he just kind of like comes bustling out of his office like this big. He's sort of like this short, squat man, like a little soft around the middle, like this very impressive kind of handlebar mutton chop type mustache, going into a beard, and he's wearing like big kind of thick armor. Sort of steps up at you all with a frown through like bushy eyebrows. Like if he was in an anime, he'd be that character with massive eyebrows but no eyes, like drawn on,
Comes up whenever he's thinking, it wiggles from side to side.
Yeah, exactly. But then when he's really surprised, you suddenly see his tiny little eyes. And you see he's like, his brow's quite sweaty and he's sort of balding on top, and he's clutching his helmet under his arm rather than wearing it. And he's in the sort of like standard Corallan raiment, the sort of red and blue like half cloak where it's kind of over his left shoulder, kind of covering one arm, and then like stops at the other shoulder. And he sort of regards you all, sitting in whatever waiting room or something you're in. You are here for paying and things. This way. And he'll just like turn and bustle back into his office.
Avel is like on his heel, like having gently, like softly leapt up from his chair or something at the stirring of the door or something. He's already standing. Yes, just a moment of your time, Captain Ogoff.
Yes, you have 100 gold for first month here, and he'll just like chuck 4 kind of coin purses vaguely in your direction on his desk. There is writ of passage. Where's the writ of passage? I had somewhere fucking moving it. Here is the writ of passage, and I'll hand it to you. That's everything. No, it's not everything. What do I need to get? Oh,
Horses.
do I look like I can hand you horses? Stupid.
You look like you can hand us writ for the horses.
He stares at you for slightly too long and then pulls a piece of paper out of a drawer and slides it really slowly along the table.
See? I told you looked like a man who could give us a writ.
You
She
need
says
something
taking
from armory. Taking my weapons. My soldiers need them, but okay, if you want weapons. Yes, you need weapons.
Not from you.
She thinks my weapons are bad. That is. What about you?
Who do you turn to?
Everyone.
I just take some ammunition for a sling.
Fine.
Avel is like feeling a little embarrassed and or delicate. This guy's like pretty senior, right?
Yeah, he's like captain of the guard.
Yeah. And
Capital C, capital G.
yeah, senior military officer. Maybe some arrows, similar to my compatriots.
So yeah, you'd know by reputation then. Actually, Captain Ogov is like the soldiers call him Captain Ogre, like behind his back. He's a bit of a he talks to himself, and he's a bit of a nutter and a little bit like grumpy, but he's also like proven himself, extremely loyal. And there's like crazy stories of him in his prime, like headbutting someone so hard their helmet got stuck in their eye, all that kind of stuff. Like he's just supposed to have been this absolute superhero back in the day, and he's like runs a very tight ship, even if he's a fucking nutter. So the military has done well under his captaincy, but he is the sort of everyone knows he's a bit crazy. What about you? And he points at Fitzberg.
I seem kind of well enough equipped, thank you.
Cat comes.
And he gives him like a big cheesy grin.
Cat comes with his own kitty litter. Okay, this way. And he'll like turn and basically kick open a door, and you can see it's like really well worn, about foot height. And he'll lead you down into like a big armory, and you see like as soon as he sort of comes near, like anyone, guards standing at attention stand a little straighter. Like the smiths working in the forge like across the way are like start hammering faster. Like everyone kind of works a bit harder. And he'll like walk over to where there's like several bundles of arrows, and just like thrust 2 or 3 bundles into Aval's hands, and kind of like weave in amongst the sort of hive of activity that is like the kind of storage of weapons and armor and stuff, and find like the sort of like various sling ammunition, mostly like ball bearings and stuff, but some like slightly heavier ones as well. And he'll just hand you like a pick and mix sack.
Thank you.
So you can refill your ammunitions and whatnot. And there's also like daggers and swords and axes and stuff everywhere, so if there's anything else you'd grab.
I've got a bunch of spare blades, but I guess we'll just have something on the carriage or something, enough ammo and supplies and various packs of whatnot in case we need it.
So you gather up everything.
He would probably try to slip some compliments in between the grumbling about how well the kingdom has done recently in various skirmish or against various threat, etc.
Yeah, he gets like, he's very like, yes, I know how good it is, because you're stating facts and not complimenting him as far as he can tell. But he's definitely glad that you're recognizing it, and he doesn't necessarily soften, but you can tell he doesn't hate you.
Is he quite animated? Is he moving back and forth, or is he pretty stoic?
No, he's he's not animated in the slightest.
Okay.
He's very like.
Do his shoes have laces?
No. Yeah, actually, they would. They're like big old boots.
As he's walking around, I'm not entirely sure if I can do this, but I'm gonna try. Fitzberg flicks his tail down beneath his cape and uses prestidigitation to tie his laces together.
Prestidigitation can't do that, but okay.
Okay then, never mind. Carry on.
Mage hand could.
You clean his shoes up. Got him.
Got him.
You could prestidigitate like bells on his laces so that he suddenly starts tingling. But
I'm gonna prestidigitate sand in his shoes. Because apparently I can do that. I soil an object in a larger than 1 cubic foot.
Sure.
I imagine it's not a cube.
Yeah.
So,
So there's a slight squelch as he walks, but he doesn't seem to notice.
That's fine.
But you're not sure if that's he's not letting on, or he actually doesn't realise his shoes are full of sand.
Fitz is happy enough. He's done his bit.
Either way, you are.
Did you just prestidigitate like cat litter under his feet?
Yes, that's exactly what I did.
It'll be like the scene in Clue the rest of the day. Simon's just like standing near him and just going, and then checking their feet, and then sniffing.
And he will eventually be rid of you and send you onto the stables, where you're presented with a lovely gelding and a nice covered wagon.
Are we leaving right now, or are
No,
we
no.
going?
No, they're
Yeah.
just sort of showing you.
Mhm.
And so the wagon has space for 4 of you to lie in the back, but it's very tight if you do. Like, the space for 4 of you to lie in the back with nothing else really in it, so it's quite thin. But the space for 2 to sit up front, and there's seating space in the back as well. You kind of drop off some of your bags and stuff in the carriages before you're given your lodgings in the barracks, or shown to your lodgings in the barracks. You've got just like one kind of dormitory between the 4 of you, with 4 beds. But the evening is yours.
Tanith is going to ask some of the stable hands, or horse masters or whatever, where a good place to relax is in the city.
Well, if you want cheap, there's the refectory. If you're staying in the barracks, there's free booze there. But if you want somewhere a bit quieter, well, within the city, there's the Noctwood. That's probably the best place. But there's taverns everywhere in here.
Well, where would you go if you were about to leave for a month and wanted to have something fun and memorable to remember?
Well, that depends on how much gold I have. He gives you a grin.
She kind of shrugs, like waiting.
Well, if I had a fair bit of gold, I would maybe go to the lavish lounge. That's, well, they've got nice dancers and that sort of thing. Or maybe the board house is good for a quiet drink.
Very helpful.
This is a stable hand, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What are their names?
The stable hands' names.
No, the horses. What are their names?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? How do you not know the horses' names?
They don't really have names.
He like rolls his eyes and walks over to the horses and like tries to like not pet them, just like pat, but like try and reason with them, I guess.
Sure.
Just trying. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Make friends with them, basically.
Yeah.
But in the sense, a human being would make sense to them.
Acquaint yourself.
There you go. That's the one. Thank you.
Yeah, so your horse is, this sort of blue gelding, and it's very docile, and like enjoys it when you kind of come up and stroke it and whatnot. But yeah, I mean it's a horse.
Your name is Harley.
Harry, did you say?
Harley.
Harley.
Harley is a horse. What about the other one?
There's only one pulling your carriage.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Small wagon. It's not like a carriage.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah. Harley is a horse. The horse has a name now.
You gave him that?
Is it her? Isn't it?
It's a
Or is
gelding.
Geldings
so
are
it's a bloke.
boys.
Damn it! I thought it was the other way around. Oh well. Harley works.
Yeah, mares are always mares. Geldings are boy horses that don't have boy parts anymore, and
Yeah.
stallions are boy
Thank you.
horses that still have their parts.
That's my lack of education, John. Yes, the horse is called Harley. I decided.
You decided?
It's a good name.
That's 2. He looks to Aval for the support.
Sorry.
The horse. His name is Harley.
Absolutely. I Is there an issue with that, or
No,
no?
I just wanted to know how we came to that.
Oh,
He's fast.
He's fast.
Harley is a fast name.
You seen him run?
I have a feeling.
Okay.
He has a big grin on his face, like he's proud of himself.
The stable hand is just kind of watching you both, like, with a bit of a frown on his face, a little confused.
Don't name your horses.
You know we have, like, thousands of horses, yeah?
And how do you tell them apart?
Numbers.
That is how you do it. That is how you do it. Like if this horse is ours, he should have a name.
Well, what's this horse's number?
41.
Why don't we name him 41?
That's a good name.
41 is not a name. It's a number.
I mean, it could be a name.
Harley 41. Compromise.
Sure.
He again looks very pleased with himself.
I don't get this guy.
Neither do I.
That's
We're
fine.
going drinking?
Yeah, I want to go out.
Make me a history check, Abel.
sure. I will get some dice out. That would be useful.
Yeah,
that's-
you should know better.
Hey, went through all of that Curse of Strahd game without rolling the dice. Doesn't always happen. No, it's not a problem. It just means much roleplay. A history check.
Mm-hmm.
14.
Okay. You know quite a good, quite a few good places to go boozing. Like you said, like the refectory in the barracks is free. But yeah.
Oh,
he
free was it? I thought he just said cheap.
No, it's yeah, it's like it's free for you guys. But it's gonna be like cheap beer and no spirits kind of thing. Yeah, so he mentioned the lavish lounge. That's like exotic dancers and a little racy. Yeah, the board house he mentioned is like a craft brewery type place. Like it's very hipster, but like and quite expensive, but like a quiet sort of nice spot. The Knocked Wood is just sort of standard like high-end tavern. There's also one other place that comes to mind. It's a sort of somewhat shady but well presented sort of like club and casino called the Vermilion Oleander. That's like one of the big hot spots in town.
That was the only one that wasn't mentioned on that list. So
Yeah.
if Tanith, I mean, Tanith has obviously shown that she's keen to drink, but if we're on the way out, there is one place the stableman didn't mention.
Oh, yeah?
Though it was pretty well established before we left, and I'd imagine it's done quite well since, but the Vermilion Oleander, it's kind of got a bit more of a casino vibe to it, gambling and
That
more
sounds
full
fun.
of life.
Tanith's eyebrow will kind of quirk and will say, well, if you recommend it over those other...
I mean,
Like,
between
wasn't really convincing.
he wasn't a very convincing individual, but between the Knotwood and the Board House, you can have a fairly good night. But if you were looking for something a little more exciting,
Yeah. Sounds like fun. What do you think, Eleanor?
Anywhere I can drink
this has drinks
and have a
and
little fun.
maybe a little music.
All right, show us the way.
I do.
Yeah.
Can I just is it like already early evening kind of?
Yeah. It's like dinner time.
Okay, already dinner.
Yeah.
Very well. This place do food
Yeah. Good food
in
too.
the club part of it?
Yeah,
Or,
good food too.
casino part of it? Or
The sort of they're kind of blend
food?
together.
Well, no.
Hello.
Yes? Maybe?
Is he gone?
Rob?
No.
I don't know.
Hello. Good food.
Yeah. Oh,
Can you hear me now?
that was weird.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I could hear you guys fine.
We
Yeah,
couldn't
we
hear
couldn't
you, and
hear
then we
you.
got your reply, and then you left.
Oh.
Oh, like at about the same time. It was weird.
That's very strange.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Right this way.
Sorry. Yeah. So
No.
I was gonna say yeah. There is food. Good food.
That's fine. That even better. He won't lead them through the cobbled streets or whatever's
Yeah.
going on here.
Yeah. So you head to the Vermilion Oleander. It's like much bigger than it appears from the outside. As you approach, it's got this sort of small, kind of, like kitschy almost inn vibe. But then you push inside, and you find like there's this big kind of open stairway leading down into this massive complex beneath, where you can basically see, like from the bottom of the stairs, the casino is like sort of there's loads of tables set out in front of you, like all wide and open, and then there's these sort of like hemispherical like appendages to the rooms, with like tables and booths in them, so that there's various kind of club settings, or like various kind of eating areas and drinking areas, and then in the center of the very center of the room is this raised stage, where you see a violinist and a dancer who are part of a group together, and like the dancer is like this sort of really like fit, well-toned guy who's in like basically nothing but a loincloth and is like moving in time to the music as though he's like completely lost, and is just like kind of losing himself to the woman's playing, and you can see like there is several bars around the room and like a couple doors off to one side, but as you reach the bottom of the stairs, your way is barred by a rather tall, very like muscular, bulky woman, arms crossed, like expression sort of mistrustful, I would say, and she sort of frowns up at all of you as you come down the stairs. She kind of like holds her hand out. It's gold to enter.
Can I? Is that usual? Do I need to insight that, or can I insight that?
You can insight it.
17.
It's not unusual for the fancier clubs, just sort of an insurance that they will make some money. But she's clearly kind of used to seeing familiar faces, it seems, and you guys are not those. So you get the impression she's going to kind of be keeping a close eye on you.
Sure. I just wanted to know if we were being charged for like who we were,
No,
or
it
if it
doesn't
was
seem like that.
so late. But right, how much?
4 gold.
Okay. He just tosses that over, flicks over the gold.
Keep out of trouble. And she'll like step aside, kind of eyeing you all up.
He's kind of like passing through, and like with a smile on his face. I thought that was what the gambling was for.
She kind of like chuckles and shakes her head like, Damn it, he made me smile. You know.
Yeah, the rest of us will follow Avel. Tanith is probably like eyeing the woman, like, oh dang, she big.
Yeah.
Does she stop us individually, or is it like 4 gold for all of us?
No, that was 1 gold each. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So you'll owe
As he
Avel a
passes
drink.
the woman, he says,
Yeah.
as Fitz passes the woman, he goes, "You're very pretty. What is your name?"
Glory.
That is a good name. Have a good night. And he heads off.
She kind of like, you see like a very slight kind of pink blush to her cheeks, and she looks a little flustered, but just nods and kind of passes you through.
I am totally picturing Huntara from from She-Ra, the Princess of Power.
I have to watch that show.
I will take your word for it.
Really tall, muscular, orc-looking lady with a big long braid. I sent a picture of her in like our group chat because it was she was voiced by Gina Davis, and I was geeking out about that.
Sure.
Anyway,
Yeah. So she will sort of watch you go, like keeping an eye on the 4 new rapscallions who've entered her establishment. What would you all like to do?
Avel's keen to eat because I imagine they haven't had a good meal, having rocked in and reported and all the rest of it.
Sure thing.
Dining, anyone? I know I could use something.
I could eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it seems food is sort of ordered at the bar, and they can bring it to your table if you choose a table, as well as your drinks can be either picked up at the bar or like brought to your table or wherever you might be gambling. So you can sort of pick a table, like a food table, to be your kind of base of operations and have your stuff ordered there if you fancy.
Sounds good.
Yeah. The menu's pretty exotic, especially for sort of Sona cuisine. There's like the standard kind of stews and that sort of thing, but there's like pies and like stuffed vine leaves and vegetarian options and all kinds of things. Like it's definitely trying to be an exotic place. So there's a lot of food to choose from.
All over those vine leaves.
I know you would be.
Is there any birds on the menu?
There's certainly like some kind of like pressed turkey pate type thing.
Give that a try.
It's good.
It's not a leg, but it'll do me.
There's also canaries in a cage.
They're not on the menu, but I'm sure you could pay someone
Yeah.
enough gold.
I look the other way.
I go over and an old granny comes over with a broom.
Yeah.
Friends, fuck a cash.
The other two getting
Yeah, I
Food.
probably just get like a stew or something.
yeah.
Yeah, Tanith will get some sort of roasted fish, maybe.
Nice. Yeah. And as for drinks, they've got all the classic favorites, as well as this very expensive cocktail that they're like not necessarily trying to get everyone to buy, because it's not that kind of place. It's a bit classier than that, but they're definitely promoting, called the Lithael's Love.
I'll get that.
All right. Yeah, it comes in
that?
this. It comes in this big like goldfish bowl type thing, and it's like red. It's like cranberry juice and gin and all that sort of thing. And there's like these small like bits of ice floating in it that are blue. So there's this sort of blue and red motif, and as the ice melts, it kind of turns the whole drink pink slowly.
It's pretty. Does it taste good?
Oh hell yeah!
Who is Laselle and why is her love so important?
He, the like barkeep will say, like pouring from 3 different like
I'm
cocktail
sorry. I'm not
shakers.
good at vendors.
He is the husband of the owner. They did not get married long ago.
They did not get married long ago.
That is true. That's 5 gold, by the way.
The drink or the entire order?
The drink.
Okay.
The food is probably like, a gold each.
How much was it? I'm sorry, you're kind of breaking up on me a little bit.
5 gold for the drink, and a gold each for the food.
I'll pay for everyone's first round.
What wine?
Okay, I think just your drink was 5 gold. Everybody else's probably was cheaper.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, 5 gold for just the drink?
Yeah,
Okay.
just the one that you got. Yeah. So
Oh,
I would imagine about 10 gold would do it, and about half of that is just your drink.
Yeah.
oh dang. Okay. This better be a
You better get
problematic
blasted.
drink. Yeah, I better get blasted.
Yeah, you get blasted for sure.
Can I just get the wine, please? Thank you.
I
Vine?
would have similar.
Like the
No,
leaves?
no, wine. This that, and he points to like the name of a wine.
Oh, wine.
Yes, wine.
Right. Of course. He'll pour the bottle you pointed at.
Thank you. What is your name?
My name is Roy.
That's a good name. Thank you.
I'll have an ale.
Any preference?
Something good.
Well, obviously we have the Boardhouse Brew, which is
No, thank you.
good choice. I'll kind of give you a grin. And he says, well, there is a Korean ale we have, all the way from Barda, if you've been there. Very sweet.
I'll try it.
And he'll pour you this kind of stout ale that has, I don't know, beer words. It's nice, I guess.
Good. There we go.
I was going to try and do a description, but beer will taste like fucking dirt to me anyway, so.
It's got good head. That's a thing that beer does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I might like beer, but never mind. Yeah, but good food, good booze. Tanith is fucking smashed because she drank.
We're all at the table now, yeah?
Yeah, Tanith is drinking a goldfish bowl full of like 4 mixed spirits, so
I love
she's
the idea.
fucked.
She just like has the whole thing in her arms and is just dunking it in her face.
I'm just sort of picturing it with a straw,
There's
and
a
she's like,
straw. Definitely. She's like chasing some of the ice around with a straw.
it's really good. And the ice has little flowers in it, so when it melts, they like float across the drink.
We're all sat together. Pittsburgh like smacks his head and like, I've just realized I've not asked any of your names. You know me, I am Pittsburgh.
I'm Lenore.
Lovely.
I kind of like wait for Tanith, but she's too busy chasing ice cubes around a thing, so he will go, I'm Avel Bryn, and that's Tanith.
Eva. Eva, that's a pretty name. And so is Tanis. That's such lovely names.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I get that from my elven heritage.
That makes sense.
I get
yeah.
mine from being an orphan.
Oh no. I'm an
Oh
orphan
boy.
too. Well, kind of. In a way.
How are you kind of an orphan?
Well, my parents are not my birth parents, but I was raised by people, so. And I call the person who raised me my mother, so. Not entirely certain what constitutes an orphan, besides
I
not
mean,
parent.
Your parents are
parents are
dead.
dead.
But
Your parents are
I don't
dead.
know. My parents are dead, probably. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's
They
what
gave me
makes
away.
an orphan.
They gave me away a long time ago.
Where are you from?
You remember when I said I lived among the Fae?
I do.
Yeah.
I live among the Fae. Like the Fae are the ones who raised me. My parents
Right.
made a deal with the person who would become my mother that I don't really know what the deal was for. I was never told. But they gave me away as firstborn son. It's a Fae thing. And then they raised me. And then I was like, hey, can I go and see the real world? And she was like, okay, but they're always going to know that you're not one of them. And I said, that's okay. And so here I am.
Inspiration. Point of inspiration for Sid.
Thanks.
Does that make sense?
Just
I hope that
chug
makes
that
sense.
water to make that joke.
Dedication to your
I
craft.
mean, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I was not always this. And he holds his hands out to like show the furriness. I was not always like this.
You didn't always have fur?
Nope. I used to be a people. I don't know what kind
Used
of
to
people.
be people.
I don't know. I can't remember if I was an elf or a human. Those words don't really mean anything to me. But now I am this, and I am happy because I am here.
You are very cheerful.
I try to be. Everything is a new experience.
That's
Sure.
one way of looking at things.
Did he say that he used to be people?
He
Yeah.
did.
Yes, Kenneth.
Well,
You
I'm
used
still
to be
people. I just,
people.
I don't look like people. I'm still people, so.
Were you born with fur?
Nope. At least I
Did you
don't think so.
die?
What? No.
Did you die?
No.
'Cause how'd you get fur?
I was given it by my mother when I came to this world, so that people would always know that I wasn't really one of them, even though I am. She's very confusing, my mother.
Your voice is confusing.
I don't know why I have this accent, to be honest.
I don't know either.
Are you okay, Thomas?
I will be once I get this fish in my belly.
I just have a look in the bowl. Is there a small thing that looks like a fish, or is she like
she
just
ordered-
hallucinating
she
it?
ordered
the
fish.
No, I ordered fish.
It looks really big,
I just-
magnified by the glass.
Yeah, as you described it as a fish bowl earlier, I was like, is there actually a fish in there somewhere?
That would be hilarious.
Evel is enjoying his vine leaves.
And Vine.
He's where he when his teens.
He is looking around for the game side of things, the casino.
Yeah, so that's basically all. So you guys are in like wings. It kind of looks like a child's drawing of a flower, where you got these kind of hemispheres around the outside, which is where the like eating tables are and the bars, and then in the center is the stage, and then around the stage are the tables for cards
Right.
and stuff. It's
Okay.
like everything centers around the casino, basically.
I see. Right. He will perhaps look for a game.
Yeah, there's plenty. There's like all kinds of. I mean, you've probably been here several times before, so
Mhm.
they've got like blackjack equivalents or more like chance-based games.
Mhm.
There's dice games.
Is
All
there,
sorts.
for instance, like dice games or something where maybe having a high sleight of hand or something could give him an edge? Like,
You
not
mean like
necessarily, replacing it with doctored dice or anything, but just,
yeah.
being able to throw it away, or like some sort of game of skill where his particular talents
Yes, there is one
would
game.
benefit.
There is one game where there's basically a grid of like 10 squares,
Mhm.
and to win, basically you're rolling dice, and what the dice land on is multiplied by whatever square
Okay,
each one lands on.
that sounds cool. I will not
And
do a name and make you name that game.
Humpfder.
Humpster.
I was expecting like demon's dice or something.
It's
Humpster.
called.
I think it.
It's called Humpfder. And yeah, like so, there's a smaller, there's a bit of skill in aiming,
Mhm.
aiming your thing. So you can play Humpfder if you like.
Yeah, he's not gonna gamble irresponsibly, but he will hopefully come away winning something.
For sure. So, to play Humpfder, Dan,
Sure.
first make a sleight of hand check.
Yay! 15 plus 8 for 23.
Yeah, okay. So, now roll a d6 and then roll a d10 with advantage on the d10. And then 6 times whatever you got on the d10.
So the d6 was a 4 and the d10 with advantage was a 6.
Yeah.
You want me to...
would be your roll
Right.
then. And
Okay.
the person you're playing against got a 21 with a 3 and a 7. So you won. So you get 5 gold. Would you like to play again?
We don't have to play each individual game.
Would you like to play again?
Yes, sure.
We'll do one more. We'll do one more.
Okay, I'm just saying that he's probably going to, have more than the 2 games that we roll or something, and come out hopefully on top.
Sleight of hand check again.
Sleight of hand is 24 this time.
Okay, good enough. Ugh.
So I still get the advantage on the d10?
Yes, yeah.
Ha! That went from a 1 to a 10 on the d10. That's 4 times 10. 40.
Yeah, he got an 8.
Oh boy. Poor guy.
So you win another 5. And yeah, you can play some more. So yeah, roll me a d10 and we'll say you win however many games the d10 is, and you lose however many left over there is. So if you roll a 4, you win 4 games and you lose 6, so you come out net losing 10 gold.
I got an 8.
So you win 8 games, lose 2, so you win 30 gold on top of the 10 you already had.
Nice. 8 for dinner.
Whilst he's away, Fitzberg is kind of watching Tanith slowly become more and more intoxicated, and turns to Lenore and says, "Are you an orphan too, Lenore? Is this a thing?
No.
What were your parents like?" He like puts his paws like elbows on the table and puts his hand in his paws.
My parents?
Yeah. If that's
They're
okay.
parents.
I don't know. Is that okay?
No, they're parents. I guess. Had a mess of kids and did parent things.
You have the brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
Oh, that didn't sound good.
I mean, do you have any brothers?
I have some. I call them my brothers and sisters, but they're not related to me. I am the only one of the humans. But they're nice. They're friendly. They're tricky like me.
What do you mean tricky?
Tricky. Like earlier, when that the Orgoth guy, when he was rude to me, I put sand in his shoes.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Like a sandy shoe.
Yeah. Well, he made a comment to kitty litter, and that made me sad. So I put kitty litter in his shoes. See how he likes it. I can do more stuff like that, but I didn't want to go crazy because he seemed important and would hit me very hard.
That's your skill that you bring to this group.
Oh no, I also have like shooty things, but I wasn't going to shoot the guy. That's nuts.
So you can shoot things and put kitty litter in people's shoes.
It's not just the kitty litter. That's just what I did said. That's an example.
Oh my, the cult is going to be mildly inconvenienced.
I can also turn myself invisible.
I mean,
Is
that's
that more helpful?
yeah, that's actually.
I can
kinda
also do a thing where I call one of my brothers or sisters to my side, so they can hang out with me.
like,
Oh, and I can do this! And he like pulls his hood over his head, and he takes it off, and he like looks like Aval, but without the beard, as he casts disguise self at will using one of his Eldritch invocations. I forgot the name of.
Mask of Many Faces. Tanith
That's
has
the one.
disappeared from the conversation. She's like wandered away from the table.
Oh, that's not good.
she's
Lenore,
fine. She's fine.
Lenore, you look up and see Glory is like leaning against a booth, like much closer than she was before, like frowning at the open display of magic.
Ta-da!
I don't know how appreciated that is in here.
Oh no, is that a bad thing? I did not know that was a bad thing. Hold on. He pulls his hood up and takes it down, and he's back to a cat again. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Glory. I did not know that was a bad thing.
This is happening, making it worse.
She
What?
Captain
Nobody did
Picard's
that.
clutches the bridge of her
Oh, that-
nose.
You made the tall lady face palm.
He just gives her a wide grin. Yeah, I have things. But you know, now it's not the time to use them. That would be silly.
Yeah, that would be silly. I mean, you just said you were tricky, and I was like, well, I mean, what kind of tricks? I mean,
I got the sand initials. I can do mine illusion. I can do that. I can make people go mad. Invisible. When people
like,
hit me, they get hit
what do
by
you mean
fire.
make people go mad?
Oh, I don't want to just like read the fucking spell off.
No.
They get like this. I think it's something my mother came up. It's like this crown thing. It's like a big old Sony thing, and it goes on their head, and then they go nuts. Well, kind of nuts for a bit, and then they come out with the nuts.
Are you like safe to be around?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, what happens if you like? What if I make you mad? Are you gonna like make me go mad?
No,
Wait, that's a lot of mad.
you're my friend. I'm not gonna do that.
How am I your friend? I've known you for like how many hours?
We're talking, aren't we?
Not everyone that talks to you is your friend.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah, it's kind of an important thing.
Usually people are my friend, right, Mark?
Like, I don't even know how to deal with that. But
Mark is the usual term.
talking? I mean, sure.
I mean, I've
But,
told
yeah.
you the truth about me.
Why
Most
would you
people I like.
lie? What?
Most people I lie to. People
Why
are not
would
my
you
friend.
lie?
I lie to.
Well, how do I know you're not lying to me now?
Why would I lie to you? You're my friend.
No, like there was literally this one girl at the monastery who was like, "I'm your friend. We're gonna braid your hair," and I was like, "Okay," because I wanted to be like liked or whatever, and it was really stupid. And she lied to me, and she wasn't my friend.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So now you're sitting here telling me that you're lying to me.
I'm not lying to you. I never said that. What are you saying?
You said you lie to people.
I lie to people who aren't my friend.
This is really confusing.
I don't think so. I'm
Well,
sorry
I'm
that you
not
had your
you.
trust betrayed like that. That's not okay.
Well, yeah, they all laughed at me because I looked like an idiot with the freaking pink bows in my hair.
I think you would look pretty with big bows in your hair. Maybe not
At-
pink.
No,
Pink
they were
doesn't fit
pink.
your,
They were
your look.
horrible, and they were not. No, and it was really bad.
What's your favorite color?
Not pink.
But what is it though?
I don't know. I wear a lot of black.
Black. Okay. To show that I consider you my friend, I will get you a black bow. You do not have to wear it, but I will give it to you as a gift to you.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna wear it in my hair. No offense.
That's
We've already
absolutely
established.
okay. I just wanted to be given to you to prove that I consider you my friend. To make up for the poor things that happened to you when you were little.
That seems really
Boy,
odd.
wait till he hears Tanith's backstory.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I can't stop you from buying a black bow.
Good. And he has a cat smile grin on his face.
I need more ale.
It's on me. He hands her a gold. In fact, he hands her 2 and says, "Get me a vine by yourself."
Okay.
Also, where's Tanis?
Who?
Tanis.
She's fine, probably. Unless
Okay.
she's not fine. What do I look and see where Tana went?
That's a good question.
I was gonna give you a chance to say what she was up to. She's probably trying to dance.
No one else is
Somewhere.
dancing.
Oh, there's that guy with
There is
the
a professional
loincloth.
dancer who is being paid to
Yep.
be there.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah, I
Professional
love
dancer?
you're right up against the stage, just like dancing underneath him or something.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
All right, Fitz, let's go.
so
We're about
then-
to have some fun.
What you will see shortly is Glory also making a beeline for Tanith.
I'll get to Tanith and be like, let's go get another drink at the bar, or at least another drink for me.
And that all important monk speed there to beat the bouncer to your ally.
An additional 10 feet was vital.
Step of the wind.
Glory kind of
But-
catches. You go.
No, you go ahead.
Glory would catch Lenore up eventually as she just after she gets there. And say, "You got this."
Yeah, we were just going back to our seat.
You keep your weird friends in check.
That is apparently my job.
He called us fans.
Music is very pretty.
Yes, it is. It is wonderful music. We appreciate it from afar, and not dancing because this isn't that kind of establishment.
He's dancing, she says, like pointing at the.
That's his job.
Oh, I want that to be my job.
Well, you can leave your life at the temple and become a dancer if you really want to, but right now we need to go sit down.
Okay.
Wait, you really want to leave your life at the temple and become a dancer?
The lavish lounge is hiring. Glory will say.
The lavish lounge is
Grinning.
hiring. I don't think she wants to do that
What?
kind of dancing.
Aval says this is the nice place.
This is the
Can I
nice
dance
place.
here?
No.
I want to dance here.
Well,
You had like an amateur night, or
come back in the morning and apply. Glory will say, like, giving Lenore a really kind of look.
I'm so
Campaign
sorry.
takes a very strange turn as the professional dancing career of Tanith is pursued rather than the cult at the end of the
She
world.
multi-classes into bard.
I'm just, he looks very happy. It's nice.
He does look happy.
She'll let Lenore lead her away.
All right. Well, is there anything else specific people would like to do this evening, or are we happy to say that you all had good times of varying degrees?
Yeah.
Wherever we end up, if we're back in the dorm eventually, I'll
Eventually.
I'll put 10 of the gold that I won towards the onto the nightstand or something in front of Tanith, and have paid for
Nice.
things,
Yeah.
basically.
She was totally taking like turns leaning on various people as we were walking back because despite her better judgment, whenever Tanith got her to the bar, she ordered another one of the Lethale's love before anyone could stop her.
Oh, she can pay for that one.
Yeah, no, I've taken it out of my gold.
But
All right.
put the 10 gold.
So,
Put 10 gold back for
everyone
our
has a
stuff.
good time. Tanith has a point of exhaustion come the morning, and also her constitution score is halved because she has full liver failure. But no, you do have a point of exhaustion because you're hungover.
Aw, I don't even get a save. Cool.
Make a con save.
I mean, I got the amulet of health for a reason. Oh,
Nope.
nope. A point of exhaustion.
2
Noted.
points of exhaustion.
I rolled a 2.
Yep,
Oh my god.
you get 2 points of exhaustion.
So it's a 9
You failed.
total. Okay, 2 points of exhaustion because I.
Party
Back to the
hard.
DM.
Yeah, I did that to myself.
I'm sorry, but the biggest, meatiest, constitutionist person in the world, if they drink a shitload of booze, is still gonna get a hangover. So unless you're fucking god tier, it's gonna suck.
Her constitution is godly, almost. It's a 19.
I mean, I'd like to think my real life constitution is a 19.
Okay, my speed is halved, so Tanith is defo riding in the. in the wagon.
She's also for some reason covered in bruises, and she doesn't know where any of them came from.
Do we know?
Heidi last night.
No, it's just I don't know. Whenever I get back from a night out, I wake up the next morning and like there's some like full handprint on my calf in bruise form, and I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? You know, you just get random bruises from tripping over and stuff.
To everything, yeah.
Including people's hands, apparently.
I was
Really
gonna say,
hard.
if you had a bruise the size of a handprint and the shape of a handprint on your calf, that's a very unusual bruise.
I mean, I think it
He
was
was
about
trying to dance on a table. Someone.
Yeah.
grab,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've woken up covered in bruises. It was me like flailing against a wall, but
Do we want to hear the rest of the story?
yeah, that's what it was. I was.
She wanted to be a
like,
dancer.
I,
In the fancy
I-
place.
I did want to be a dancer in the fancy place. Tanith does not remember wanting to be a dancer in the fancy place.
Before we head out, sorry, would Fitzberg be able to procure that black bow that you wanted to look for?
Probably not this evening because it's quite late.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was
I
meaning
said
the following
before you
week.
head
Sorry.
out.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant before you head out. Right, yeah, that makes sense. Yes. 2 silver pieces, we'll say.
2 silver pieces. I asked the shopkeeper his name.
Otis.
Hardy name. Good name. Thank you.
Liam, is this going to be a fucking character trait?
He was raised by the Fae. Names are very important.
Bow salesman in Coralla. Fuck's sake. I love you, Liam.
I do
you're a
this to see.
bastard.
I don't have a reason for it. I just ask. This time I actually have a reason for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's getting
Rob will
everybody's
remember
true
this.
name so he can torture them. Oh, you should see what it's like on Thursday with Liam. With this, what's the name of that shop, Corinne? What's the name of the shopkeeper, Corinne?
What's the name of this book?
For the bakery, Corinne.
Yeah, I mean, my NPCs list was 6, and now it is 12, and all of them are Liam.
You can absolutely get rid of some of them.
No, it's fine. I'm just adding because then, someone will be like, "Oh yeah, I go and see Otis," and I'll be like, "Who the fuck is Otis?" But now I can command F, and there's Otis, and he sells bows.
Specifically bows, or is it like a
Bows.
fabric shop?
He sells bows.
Okay. Oh shoot! I should have clarified. It's a fabric bow, not an arrow bow.
Yeah, that's what he sells. Fabric
cool.
bows.
I just realized that. Oh no, they have the same word.
He's not like a Fletcher. He just makes
A bowman.
fabric bows. A bowyer.
That's
Anyway.
a very specific job.
He's a bow.
Do you sell a lot of bows, Otis?
I sell some bows. I mean, that is how I make the entirety
Oh
of
man,
my
I would
living.
not want to buy bows from a guy with a voice like that. That's a guy that picks up children.
Excuse me?
I'm not there.
Well then, don't comment.
Then I wish you all the luck in your selling of the bows. Thank you. And I toddle off with my black bow for Lenore.
Right. And no one believes Otis when he tells them that he met a cat.
Except for the kitty litter in his shoe.
He wasn't mean to me. He was quite nice. He was a cat later.
Fucking cat. Indeed.
Sorry, carry on. Random tangent.
No problemo. So you head out along the road north. Your initial destination being the Sanctum of the Silver Wind. As you travel the road that starts very well looked after, but becomes a little bumpier and a little less well kept. Like the further you get from Coralla. I imagine some of your party are vegging out in bedrolls in the back, and who's driving? Just so I know.
Unless someone else was particularly keen, Aval was probably going to be
so
bright up,
as I
bushy
said,
eyed.
as I said, there's the space for 2 up front, on the bench at the front, and 4 to 6 in the back. So assuming 2 of you sitting up front, 2 in the back. One of the 2 in the back being
does the sun hurt?
It's not great.
Yeah, then I guess I'll be in the back.
Who's up front with Avel?
Lenore will sit up there to avoid any further conversation with Fitz.
You just call me a this? So rude.
Huh?
I said, did you just call me a this?
No,
What?
with Fitz.
Oh, Fitz.
Fitz.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought you said no more conversations with
I
this.
shortened your name because we're
this.
friends.
That's cool. That's cool. I just was confused. Have I given? Do you think I've given you the bow yet, or do you think I'll be a minute?
Do you?
As soon as he sees you, like, Lenore, I got you the bow.
Oh no. I was really hoping you would forget. Thank you.
See, it's symbolic because black is a symbol of death, and that is a bow which hurt you in the past. But now the hurt that bow has is now dead, and it's forgotten.
Yep. Totally dead and forgotten. And not an open wound at all. Of
I'm glad.
childhood trauma. Thank you.
All wounds heal this time.
Yeah. Have fun with that one, Tannis.
I'm in the breakfast, Tannis. I'll keep an eye on her. Don't you worry.
Thank you. It's a very important job.
Quietly.
Of course. Quiet as a mouse.
A mouse which I have killed because I am a cat.
And give it a black bow because it's symbolic of its death.
I said quiet.
Pittsburgh is silent. Smiling, looking around the... What's the inside of the carriage look like?
It's
The carriage.
it's a very simple like wagon. At the moment, there's like a couple like bundles of arrows and some ammo and that sort of thing. Like
Oh, okay.
your supplies and bedrolls, but it's quite sparse at the moment. I'm sure it'll fill up with magic items and pelts of slain beasts and whatnot. But it is covered by like a big white fabric. It sort of looks a bit like kind of Oregon Trail type thing.
If Fitz starts scratching something into the wall, does it make a loud noise? To annoy Tanner?
The wall.
Not to annoy Tanner, but does it?
So like the wall is fabric, but there are like there are like wooden struts that hold it up, like bands along it, so
Yeah.
you could scratch into those or into the like floor or the lip. This is a sort of lip wall to the side, I suppose, but that's only like a foot tall before it transitions into.
Does it make a loud noise when he scratches into it?
I mean, it's
With a single
certainly
claw, I'm gonna point out. He's not making a scratching post.
yeah, it's certainly audible.
Okay,
Like,
and he's not gonna do it then.
yeah.
He's not gonna do it. He'll leave it. If he puts it in and it makes like a little noise, he's like, nope, silent.
Should we take a quick 5-minute break as we're on the road and then things? Yeah, awesome. See you in a bit.
Oh, let's get a snack as a show. Hi, I'm back.
I never left.
Drunk
Actually, I
Tanner.
will leave.
Drunk Tanner was a pleasure, for the record.
Oh, buckle up.
Hello.
Did I just hear Count Meow, or am I going crazy?
No, you did. It's my cat, Bunty.
Okay, cool. I was just like, oh, I definitely heard a cat then. I'm not too in character, am I?
Here, Bunty. Make noises for Liam. Did you hear the noises?
I heard maybe a little bit of snuffling, but that's about it.
She's purring really loudly. She always tries to put her head in my mouth. It's quite annoying. I'm
That's
trying
brilliant.
to speak, cat. Do not want to feast.
Woo.
I hope Pittsburgh is enjoyable and not too frustrating.
No, I'm really enjoying it.
You know you're with a pair of very grumpy people, right? So going this chipper is a very interesting move. I'm curious to see where, ends up. If you rub off on
He
them
was
at
supposed to be a
all.
little bit more like callous, but something in the way I started his voice just seemed like, and his like, this is my first time in the real world after being among the Fae, a bunch of tricksters for the last however many years I've been alive.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a bit childlike, but not to the point of actually being a child. Which is why he's kind of a bit naive. I always love a naive character.
I did quite like the line, like, I mean, I could shoot him, but that would be mad. Like,
That'd be stupid.
I did wonder, I have a very high passive perception. I did wonder if I noticed what you were doing with the kitty litter or not to a figure of authority, because Aval somewhat values the figures of authority. But I decided not to bring it up. He may or may not have seen, and may or may not bring it up. If you do it again, or like you didn't go very far with it, I was like, I wouldn't expect this of you, but sometimes people, D&D players and stuff, take that the trollish behavior a bit far for people that they really should be really respectful of.
Yeah, that's why it was just a slight annoyance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's like, don't be rude to me, you shires.
Mildly inconvenience the cult.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your
I have
special skills.
I mean, I can read you my whole spell list if you want. That's cool.
It's interesting you took Crown of Madness. Don't see many people roll with that one, but kind of fun.
I saw the name of it, and I remembered Fjord using it in, I think it was Fjord, in Critical
Ford.
Role, and I'm like, oh, that was cool. I'm gonna grab it.
The J is silent. Just Ford.
Because he doesn't know how to pronounce Ford.
Oh, it's Ford. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
No, it's
Okay.
okay.
I see it spelled with the your, and it's been a while since I've listened to it because I'm just so far behind, and my podcast only goes up to like episode 19, and they're like 100 now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm a little behind.
They
I
changed
missed out on a
their.
lot.
Yeah, they changed their podcast service, didn't they? They went from being on Geek and Sundry to their own.
Mm-hmm. Should definitely be able to find them somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm sure I can. It's a lot to catch up with.
No, absolutely. No,
Yeah.
no pressure.
Because I know there's a pink Furbolg now. I know he's about.
I'm back.
Okay, yeah.
See, your overlay is going nuts.
Is it?
It's like Tanith, and then it's grey, and then it's Tanith, and then it's grey.
It's weird because
That's what happens when you sometimes when you minimize OBS and stuff.
I was
Oh, yeah,
not
it looks fine now.
not minimized at all.
That's weird.
Might have been because I was idle or something.
Potentially, yeah, because it's fine now. Which is really weird. I'm like,
I just minimized it big again, but it was big the entire time, like because I just have it up on my other monitor, so that was weird.
Well,
I also have greater invisibility because that's proved very helpful in the game with Muse. I'm like, let's do that again, shall we?
Super useful. Especially for infiltrating cults and the like.
I have a lot of ways to go invisible. I've discovered. I've got great invisibility. I've got one of my Eldritch invocations is one with shadows.
Vaguely worried that all of our hit dice are like a D8 and we have no front man, so we're gonna have to be pretty sneaky, I think.
Mhm.
I got 84 hit points. We're fine.
I feel like not everything should be, all the dice should be headed at the healer, but okay. That's what.
We're
you're okay
fine.
with that?
That seems real bad.
I think Lenore's kind of our front man. That enormous act.
I mean, yeah, she does have a huge act.
Anywho, um, you yeah, ow, 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 fuck, get it. You don't do that. You continue on your journey, um, and the travel is you know, pretty easy. You're going along a road. It's a little bumpy, probably not amazing for Tanith's Head, but not terrible. And around noon, you see like a small kind of as you're climbing, you know, this sort of slow mountain path, and you see this small little tavern, almost like a sort of inn way station type thing, with a sign outside that isn't like a sort of traditional sign. It's just a really big piece of like nautical rope that's been like tied in a single knot, and like that kind of serves as the sign, as this is the Frayed Knot Tavern. It's like this small little pokey place.
It's just Tanith laughing when she sees the sign.
I wish
I
alternative fantasy were named after bad you walked into a pub jokes.
I am going to say something now. I named that tavern and didn't even realize that joke. And as soon as you laughed, I was like, "Oh my god, I get it. I'm a fucking genius." But I didn't.
Subconscious genius.
I did.
Yeah.
I just was like, I don't know.
Tanith is like feels like the cart stopping and pokes her head out in between like Lenore and Avel and sees the sign and just laughs like that.
Oh god. And you see it's
When
like
you start laughing, Fitz is gonna try and get in about and also see through the thing to see what she's laughing at.
Ow!
Oh, he's too small. Sorry.
there's yeah, a little bit of smoke coming from a chimney. But it's just a little pokey little inn. Kind of a cheap little place for travellers on the way north. To stop and get a meal and a bed if they need it.
Is it getting late, or have you been
No,
travelling?
it's about
kind of
noon.
About noon. So
Stop for lunch.
a dinner, yeah. Huh. Seeing that Tanith is laughing or something, he'll have like pulled over completely. Might as well treat ourselves.
So you step inside the Frayed Knot Tavern, and you see it's like I described, like small and pokey, but also you know, it's clean. It doesn't look particularly nice or fancy, but it's you know, the old comfy chairs. You know, it's a well loved place, well run. If maybe not, you know, as hugely commercially successful as the Corral and, you know, inner city clubs. The innkeeper is a big bear of a man, like beaming smile, kind of big beard, and he's like waves at you all as you enter. You see a few other interesting folk in the tavern. There's two folks sitting kind of over on a pair of chairs near the fire. One is this kind of portly man, like bellowing with laughter. He's wearing this like green and gold cloak and has a thick mustache, and like has this overflowing cup of mead that's just like spilling everywhere as he's gesticulating and telling a story about, you know, something stupid. And the man he's sitting with is chuckling along with him, wearing a kind of big blue traveling cloak. And you see there's like a large like trolley next to him that he sort of has like a couple of wheels for him to drag along. And there's like a load of candles sitting in it. Like, it looks like some kind of merchant. And then the last figure inside here is in the corner. You can't see his face because he's got this black cloak that's pulled up around him, and he's kind of like hiding and cowering off in one corner. Just sort of there's a glass of wine or something like sitting on the table in front of him, but he doesn't move as you come in. Just kind of sits in the shadow, like curled away from everyone else to hide. You know. But the innkeeper kind of comes out from behind the bar and walks over and like grasps your hands in two in both of his, Avel, because you came in first. He's oh, welcome. Would you like a seat?
4, if you wouldn't mind.
Of course. And he'll like kind of move a couple of chairs to give you the, a good seat. Can I get you some drinks, some food?
Absolutely, to both.
That's what I like to hear, my friends. My name is Gadjo Pry. I will be your server for this evening. Anything you need at all, you let me know, okay?
You wouldn't happen to
What
have...
was that name, sorry?
I'll put it in the chat. Gadjo Pry.
I would lean over and, in a lower voice, would say, you wouldn't have something for a hangover, would you? And he'll kind of just nod in Tannis' direction.
And he kind of like taps his nose and nods. I'll be right back. And he'll like reappear shortly with a tray of drinks and bowls of stew. There's not much choice here. So 4 bowls of stew, 4 cups of mead, and then 1 cup that's 2 eggs just cracked into a cup, and he places that in front of Tanith.
Oh boy.
What'll that'll cost us?
Gold.
For all of it?
Mm-hmm.
Big spender, I got you.
Thank you for your custom. Like take it, flick it, catch it, and then like go over to see the like 2 laughing guys who are like still laughing uproariously at one another, and we'll like bring them some more drinks and stuff, like bustling around.
Tanith looks at the eggs and like swirls it around in the cup and says, either this will make me feel better or it'll make me throw up, and then I'll feel better.
Presuming that... Oh, sorry, were you going to do something?
I was just saying it's a vin.
Avel's pretty educated, and you've shown magical aptitude, so he would say, to fit, maybe you could do something for the taste?
I can do that. I just read it. What's the things you like, Tannis? What's the thing you like to taste in your mouth?
Ooh.
What?
What?
Lenore's like choking on her ale.
What? What did I say?
You can't say that to people.
Oh, is that a bad thing?
I mean,
sorry,
not
I did not mean to
face
offend.
value.
It's a little overly specific.
Oh, well, do you not taste with your mouth? Is that not the scene?
You do, but it can be misconstrued.
I don't know that
okay.
well fits. But to answer your question, because I believe that you meant it with pure intentions, I like cinnamon.
Oh
What?
god, cinnamon eggs. Oh fucking.
They won't
pass.
taste like eggs anymore.
He takes out a little ball from one of his the belts, puts a thumb over the top and gives it a shake, and then pours it into the eggs as he casts prestidigitation to make it taste like cinnamon.
Okay, so you have to drink on a hangover a cup full of cinnamon goop.
Yep.
Bad choice.
There you
I'll
go.
be fine. And
Okay,
I'll
it's fine.
down it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You maybe like, have that sort of like whoop, like dry retch for a moment, but
It has a weird texture.
yeah. But once it's down, you feel your stomach begin to settle a little.
I was thinking more like paprika, maybe, but cinnamon, it seems to work for you.
This is how you win the cinnamon challenge.
Is that
Get
something
eggs.
you had at the monastery?
Yes,
Try and buy
but
some.
we don't talk about it anymore.
We don't. You're
It's the
right.
4th
I'm
Witcher
sorry
trial.
for bringing it up.
I'm glad you're feeling better, Tannis.
I mean, I didn't only vomited on that one sister sheet once.
Thanks.
Just then, Gadjo comes bustling over again. Is everything all right? Is it to your liking? Is there anything at all I can get you?
This is good. Good stuff. I don't travel north too often.
Oh,
Can you do me a small favor, please?
of course.
Can you take he hands in the empty vial? Can you fill this up with water, please?
Of course, of course.
Thank you.
He'll bustle back. Vial of water that he hands you again. So where are you all heading?
Right, actually.
Oh, well, you best be careful on the way. Make sure you're keeping a watch and that sort of thing.
Oh, trouble on the road?
A little, yes. It's bad business, but... Well, have you ever heard of the Figolog bog?
Is it what?
In passing, maybe?
You can make a history check.
Figure log ball. Does that sound vaguely Fey? Because then I could roll, but I feel like if it's not Fey, you wouldn't know.
You can roll.
16.
2!
You know it's like a place that like... It's sort of like,
That one.
It's kind of like the haunted...
The eggs are coming up again.
The haunted woods. Like, people say there's, weird stuff that goes on there, and there's always stories of, like, ghosts and monsters and that kind of thing. It's just, like, this small area of the forest.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, there's, been folk going missing on the road recently, and, well, some says there's dark things what live in the bog, sacrificing things, and, bad business.
We heard Raid was having a problem. Didn't know it spread so far south on the road.
It's a long way from Raid. I don't know if it's
Connected.
related, but either way, it's not good. So just make sure you're watching your back, alright? Keeping somewhat one of you awake at night, at least.
Are we... This place was like lunchtime.
Yeah.
Or have we travelled some days or something? I don't know how long the journey is.
This is this place is just outside of Kerala.
Okay, so we're actually far away from it.
Yeah. So this place is kind of designed to be like, it's the place you go to when you're near Kerala, but by the time you arrive there, it'll be too dark. So this place is like,
sure,
4 or 5 hours away.
Roughly how far away is the monastery, the Sanctum of the Silver Wind, or?
Yeah, so that's going to take you basically 2 days to get to from Kerala. So you're about a quarter of the way there.
And this bog in relation to these things is.
So if you have the map open,
I certainly can.
The bog is like in the woods, just northeast of Kerala, and the monastery is like just past the woods.
Right.
So yeah, the bog's pretty
We will
soon.
hit this first.
Yeah, like today or tomorrow.
Okay. I mean, thank you for the news. I mean, it obviously is bad news, but thank you for looking out for us.
Of course. I always grateful to have weary travellers spending the hard-earned coin in my establishment.
Quite. So you said quite a few people had gone missing, like from local villages and travellers and things.
No,
how long has this been
villages.
happening?
Just travellers, mostly.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's been happening on and off for a few years, but really recently things have gotten bad. I've had 3 or 4 groups in the last couple of weeks that have come through saying they've lost someone or another. Say they're
Bunch of people. They just took one of a bunch of people.
yeah, it says one of the folks just vanished without a trace, leaving the bedrolls cold and empty.
Huh.
Dark times afoot.
That is
I'd,
interesting.
keep safe.
Well, if someone was, to go have a little look at this bog, is there anything we should know? Any landmarks or ways of traveling across it? Or
Well, it's mostly water, to be honest. You can take the horse, like point towards where your horse is stabled. But big old bugs. Not really.
big old bugs.
Wouldn't really advise going in. It's a miserable place, or so I hear. I don't know about the spirits and whatnot, but gives me the shivers. I wouldn't be going in there.
Of course. Who insane mind would? And he'll look across the group.
They'll kind of pat your shoulder and says, "Well, can I get you a refill of anything?"
Oh yeah, one more course of stew, I think, for the road, and probably be off.
Of course. I'll be right back. And you see him go off, kind of come back with some stew bowls, and then head off.
Can I just? Oh, sorry. Before he heads off, can I just nod to the guy in the corner? Is he okay?
I don't know. He's been just sort of sitting there. I haven't seen him touch his drink, to be honest. Maybe I should go. I'll be right back. And he kind of turns and runs over and
Tanith will be watching.
yeah, kind of leans in. You alright there, fella? You okay? No response. Kind of shakes the guy's shoulder a little bit, and the man's body just slumps to the side. You can see he's got a long kind of turquoise feather that ends in a bladed knife just sticking out of his neck. And Gadjo gasps and kind of jumps back. He's like, "Oh, God's above. He's dead."
Well, Tanith will get to her feet and head over.
Make a perception check, everyone, please.
Okay, I'm watching the other two, the candle maker and that guy.
Okay.
Perception of 19.
15.
Okay, so you all notice that the laughter has stopped, and you glance over and the candlemaker's sitting on his own.
Ooh, where did the other guy go?
you didn't see any movement.
Okay.
He was there when you came in, and now he's not there anymore, sort of thing.
Can I get up to go check out doors and see if he
Yeah, sure.
went out or anything?
Yeah, you go outside, and you see his footprints heading off northward, but your horse is still there and fine.
Tanith is gonna put a hand on the dead guy. Is he cold or is he warm?
He's cold.
So, he was possibly dead whenever we came in.
Yeah, the blood on his neck is kind of dry. At least a couple hours he's been dead. He's very pale and stuff.
So are these fresh footprints or they were here when we got here kind of thing?
No, these are fresh.
I'll head back in. We got Prince heading north. I think that's where he went.
Right.
Give me a second. Tanith says, and pulls out her holy symbol of like the silver wind, a big dragon in profile. And she's
Gadget
going
leans
to
in and like, oh, you're doing magic there.
give me some space.
Oh, sorry. I've never seen a dead
And
body before.
she's gonna then pull out like a bit of incense and start praying and cast Speak with Dead.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I had it prepped.
So
And like as she starts praying, like the incense lights itself, and the smoke flows into the corpse.
you see that the man gasp and the eyes kind of like lull and open, and he kind of like he's still lying down, but you see his face kind of animate, and he looks up at you.
What is your name?
Micah.
Right. Do you know who this belongs to? She says, and will hold up the feather dagger.
I don't know. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Is his name
I'm right-
Micah?
Micah,
Yes.
yeah.
Micah.
I'm writing down at the same time. So, did you
I didn't
see?
see the attacker. That's interesting.
Yeah. Did you see who killed you?
No.
Um.
If you've got more questions like why would someone want to kill you?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hold on. I'm debating this other one. Um. But yeah, I'll ask. Do you know why someone would want to kill you?
I had an affair.
Is that all he's gonna say? He's gonna play the pronoun game with us.
My wife in Taylor.
My wife and Taylor.
In Taylor, which is a place in Lashland. It's a city. Just on the other side of the mountains from Kerala. Teyla. She kicked me out. She hates me now, I think. If anyone wanted me dead, it would be her.
Okay, I'm glad I asked that one first before my other one. Mhm. What is the name of the owner of the Afraid Not?
Gajo.
Okay. Good. Pass my test.
Why did you ask that? Gajo will ask.
Just in case he was actually the owner and you were trying to take his place.
His eyes go
It
wide.
happens.
Oh, God. I suppose that makes sense. He's like, you can tell he's like quite excited. Lives quite a boring life.
What was the name of the laughing man in the green cloak who's now mysteriously gone?
Are you asking Gajo that?
Mm-hmm. I'm out of my questions for the
Yeah.
corpse. So.
Uh,
he just goes limp and she just turns to Gajo.
Yeah. Gajo's like still staring at Micah, and he goes, he said his name was Govin, I think.
What was that? One more time.
Govin.
Did you
I
see
see.
where he went? Sorry. Go ahead, Dan.
No, you ask.
I didn't see him leave, to be honest. You think he did it?
Is he a regular?
No, I've never seen him. I don't really have regulars.
And you've never seen this before, and she gestures to the feather
He shakes
dagger.
his head.
Can I ask, does the turquoise feather, because I am technically a thief and have thieves' cant and stuff, does the turquoise feather mean anything to me in the slight underbellies of society?
That is a good question. Because you have underbelly knowledge, you can roll me a underbelly check.
Underbelly check it is.
History.
That is
Using
18
very
underbelly, so
underbelly.
I don't know what modifier an underbelly
History.
is, but it's another history. I need to learn some history. We're stopping at 11. 19. It's one of the things I'm not proficient in, which is one of the few.
Oh, yeah, you don't so much know about the dagger as much as like you're like, dead dude, no one saw him kill him. Mysterious man disappears and he was laughing, and you're like, shit, that rings a bell. You've heard like stories of the Noravar, who are known as the Laughing Assassins, also known as the Charming Killers. They're just like these very like, they're sort of like, it's one of those things where you've heard like, you know, there's probably some like criminal warning that's like, anyone who's too friendly has a knife behind their, is hiding a knife behind their back or something. Where there's like, people know that there's this like shady group of very extroverted assassins who are like, always laughing, always joking, and use that as a sort of distraction to pull off their crimes.
Curious. Obviously, just hearing rumors and stuff of their behavior and things, is it likely that a kind of like out of spite, like a spat of love kind of thing, is a kind of thing an assassin like this would work for, or do they kill more high-profile people? Or something?
With your role, you don't really know much about them other than like the sort of the kind of legend. But I mean, jilted lover maybe pays for assassins, like
potential.
Yeah.
Then he can't really rule it out. Okay. He won't mention that until they're out of the bar.
Right.
Right now, because he is going to say, presuming Lenore is still itching to go and we don't want to give him too much of a head start, two things. He's going to give Gad like 10 gold and say, this is for your hospitality and concern. Whenever the guards pass by next, give them the report and the information. Dallas's retrieve from the dead. It might well help them.
Thank you very much, sir.
You don't really deserve whatever this is. And then he's going to turn around to the candle maker and say, have you got anything to say?
I have no idea what's going on.
May I insight him, please?
Yeah.
That is 16 on the dice. plus 7, 23.
Oh damn. He is probably doesn't, but this guy's coming is slowly coming off like a charm person spell. Or something of that description. He's still chuckling, even though he doesn't look happy. Seems like he's kind of been drawn in
Whammied a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Can you tell us about the guy you were talking to?
Charming fella. He just told the bawdiest of jokes. It was actually this very fun one about a crown's guard, a wizard, and a priest all going into a bar. I must tell you at some point, but I don't know. He was there 1 minute and then suddenly he was gone. And you see his face like beginning to fall, and then like a frown kind of growing on his forehead. I don't really remember what it said his name was, or what he looked like.
Did he ask you for anything or give you anything?
Who?
The man you were talking to.
What man?
I mean, you were just... I know you had a spell cast on you, but that doesn't addle your wits.
He looks genuinely confused.
Huh.
Make a perception check.
May I make one as well? I'm
Yes,
concerned this is a change thing.
anyone can.
That is a non-natural 20.
20... Oh, nice. 26.
Mine is not that.
25, even.
Mine is not that either.
Mine
It's
was
much lower.
Yeah, Ethan and I.
Those of you who did well spot there's like a small kind of turquoise feather like poking out of one of his pockets.
Where'd you get that, buddy?
He kind of looks down and pulls it out. You see it's kind of gleaming with a little bit of magic. I have no idea.
I'll take that if you don't mind.
But just before you touch it, maybe we could just drop it into the bag of holding? Unless you have something you were going to do with it. I just didn't want it to befuddle you as well.
I touched the other one and nothing happened, right? Does it look different?
That one didn't look magical.
I didn't
This
know
one
that
looks
you...
magical.
Okay.
Oh, this one looks magical?
Yeah.
Then, yeah, I will take Avel's precaution to heart and take a table napkin or something.
I'm going to go get a drink. And the man like pulls his candle cart and walks over to the bar. And Gadjo's like standing beside you all watching him, like not at the bar. That's strange.
Yeah,
Feather
is
or
this
his
like the
behavior?
kind of...
Both.
Is this the kind of thing, like... Is he still kind of charmed, and like if I were to do something to dispel that charm, wouldn't he regain some of his wits, or is this kind of like his memory's fucked because...
Yeah, you think it's the latter.
There's not really anything I can do to... Okay.
Yeah, you at this level don't think there's much you can do to help him.
Outside of a greater restoration, which I don't know. Yeah, Tanith is gonna It is kind of weird that he brought a cart inside, though.
It's like a hand cart. It's a small thing.
Is it big enough for someone to hide in?
No. It's like, he's dragging behind him like a, like, I don't know, it's like a golf bag size kind of thing.
Okay.
All the candles are unlit, I assume.
Yes.
Cool.
I'm just going to like go between Gedjo and this guy and say maybe you should get him a drink and maybe a priest. We might be able to send someone from the Silver Wind. If you can keep him here for a bit.
I can certainly give him a room for a while.
And he'll turn to the candle guy and like very gently say, how about I pay for a few candles? And he's basically going to like by proxy pay for the guy staying here and his drink by buying some of his wares and also getting hopefully some nice-ish candles in the deal.
Yeah, they're nice candles. He has like lots of different scents and that kind of thing. So maybe you buy like 5 gold worth of candles, which is like, well, actually no, it'd be less than that, like 2 gold maybe for a few nights stay. And he'll happily give you some. He looks a little lost, but there's some nice kind of citrusy ones and pine smelling ones and all that sort of thing. So
just because Tanith wants to do something to try and help him, even though she can't do any kind of restorative magics, I did pack Calm Emotions, which has the ability to suppress any effect causing a target to be charmed or frightened. So she's gonna cast Calm Emotions to try and
so he seems
to try and help.
He seems to kind of sober up a little bit. Like has a quick drink and he just looks kind of mildly inconvenienced. No worries. He's mildly inconvenienced by the fact that you had your eggs. You can have points of inspiration.
That I what?
You had your eggs. You're no longer hungover, we'll say.
Oh.
Yeah, he seems like mildly inconvenienced now by the fact that he can't remember the last like hour of his life, but it's whatever.
We want to try and see if we can catch up with the guy. You said that the dead guy's been dead for like an hour or like hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should go.
All right.
Look out for yourself, Gedjo.
And you. And he'll shake your hand and give you like a pot of stew for the road.
Can I give him one more insight?
Of course.
Okay.
The poison stew.
A murder tavern.
They always say,
well,
never accept 3 stews from a man.
I mean, you're making fun of me, but
it
would have been a pretty good cover for the assassin to be like, oh no, where'd that guy go? But I'm staying right here. It's only a 16, unfortunately.
Seems like a really innocent, childlike, but lovely man.
Don't make me Zone of Truth you.
He has a little sad demeanor about him, and he seems quite lonely, and is very happy to have people to talk to. But apart from that, he's awesome.
Okay.
Gadget for president.
Yeah, go get everything limbered up and ready. Presumably, this guy was when you say north, it's along the road. He's not going completely off. Right.
No,
so not going off to that place where their wife was necessarily right now.
Yeah.
And with our new pot of stew, leave after him.
Stew.
Yeah.
Unless North thinks we should track on foot and come back here.
No, I think we should take the horses.
Okay.
Sure.
we need to crack on foot, we can.
Yeah, a little quicker pace this time.
Sure.
That's
So
fucking
you,
super power
you
by now.
get up a little trot going, and after like maybe 20 minutes of
Oh, I would mention when we're back in the wagon. I obviously would mention.
oh yeah,
There's been a few reports on various activities in and around Kerala. I think we may have just witnessed one, and basically tell them the story about the Norava, the laughing assassins.
Ignore.
Don't really know much of their motives or purposes behind what they do, but I think we've just seen their means.
They sound pretty fancy. A little bit pricey maybe, or out of the not pricey, but out of the I don't know. I guess a little overkill to send
I
someone
would-
after a lover spat.
I mean, I would have thought so. With the tricks employed here, that must not come at a small price just for a spat, like you say. But it's the only information we have to go on right now.
Especially considering, like, she already kicked him out, and she was gonna kill him. She could have probably saved herself a lot of trouble if she had kept him around, killed him in her house.
Yeah, maybe there's more of that story than we were told.
That's always the
Perhaps.
way.
He's a very powerful scene.
So, yeah,
Or maybe he was guilty of something else. I don't know.
Oh, I meant to say, I want to search. I wanted to search the guy, the dead guy.
oh yeah, sure.
I meant to say it and I didn't.
We can do that retroactively.
Okay, you're
you
awesome.
find, no worries. You find 3 gold and 6 silver. He's got a small hand axe and a small dagger on him, and that's it.
Nothing.
Like
No
some
notes or
rations and-
personal items.
No, he's got some rations and camping stuff, but otherwise, no, that's it.
We didn't get
Okay.
the name of the woman he was having an affair with, did we? Well, assuming a woman. The person he was having an affair with.
Said his wife.
No, he just said his wife's name.
Okay.
The gold or the money I'll give to Gajo along with. Well, yeah, give it to Gajo.
Yeah, he's very grateful. Yeah.
Sorry for the mess.
So cool.
No. It's
Um,
gonna be the murder tavern by the time we come back.
yeah.
With the whole gimmick.
But,
It's a racket, man.
Oh my god, yeah, he's gonna fucking exploit
He probably
the
just
shit out
made
of
more
this.
money in that murder than he probably made all month.
I was gonna say he has been paid pretty well, but it was a generous thought, and that guy was nice to us.
It's
So
now called the stabbed neck inn. No, he's too sweet for that. But yeah, you guys, after about 20 minutes, you see, like, you kind of see up ahead, like, the Govan, the sort of portly, cheerful, mustachioed man, like, walking along the road, not a care in the world, like, hears your cart coming and sort of steps off the road politely to let you pass and kind of gives you a wave as you approach.
Perception check for more turquoise feathers.
Sure.
11.
There is one poking out of his very large hat.
Oh.
And he says, "Oh there, friends, how are you?"
Tanith looks to Aval because otherwise she's gonna say something very
Sure.
blunt.
Not too bad, I guess. I had good stew back at that place.
It was, wasn't it? Gajo's. Well, you know, I think that place is completely underrated. I think if he had the opportunity to run somewhere in the city, it would
Do
be
very
a
well.
great success. Though maybe that's
I-
part of its charm, I suppose, is the quiet road. Isn't that right?
Tanith is going to kind of duck inside the cart a little bit, knowing where like the man is standing. She's going to cast a Zone of Truth. So that's a charisma saving throw.
He does not have that as a save. 15.
Oh, that is what he needed. Tanith curses from behind the curtain. I believe he knows that I tried to cast it. So.
Oh no, friends, that's it's not very polite of you. But no matter, I suppose. Can't trust anyone on the road, am I right? And he'll like pat your horse.
Oh boy.
What's your name?
I'm Govin. Good to meet you. And you are?
That's the guy.
Oh boy.
Make me,
Oh no, friends.
make me sit check.
I feel you have me at something of a disadvantage here. I don't know you, and yet you seem to already know
Oh,
who
we
I
still
am.
have your handiwork.
Excuse me?
Oh.
Okay, try not to be blunt. Was very blunt. Oh well.
You heard me.
Ah, I think I know now what you're referring to. The poor young Micah. That would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Well,
So why'd you do it?
why does anyone do anything for profit?
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but what did he do? Like, okay, I guess I should have asked it that way.
It matters very little to me what he did. It only matters that the person who wanted him dead paid in full and contacted us through the proper channels.
Was it the wife?
I see you are rather skilled investigators yourselves. I'm not quite sure how you know that, but I must say I'm very impressed. Very impressed.
You
It
should
was
be.
the wife. Oh, you've got
Really?
spunk.
The wife?
Can I just insight the wife thing? He's not just using it because it was offered.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
it.
12 plus 5, 17.
Yeah, 13.
18.
Pittsburgh believes him.
Yes.
18 and above. You think are able to get a read on him. You think he's being truthful about the wife.
Okay.
Well, you kind of see where we're gonna have a problem, though, right?
I suppose I do, yes. But then again, we needn't have one.
Needn't we?
We needn't. We could just go our separate ways and never speak of this day again.
Why?
Well, because it causes so much less bloodshed, you see. I've been a little sloppy here, I see, and, well, I'd much rather part as friends and potential future business partners than, enemies, you know? I'd hate to do something we both regret. And he kind of pushes aside his cloak, and you see there's a rapier hanging at his belt.
That's probably not a good idea.
That's quite true. I would rather just part as friends. Why don't we do that?
Abel, having heard the stories, I guess, and the fact that this guy is quite confident in his abilities, considering there's like 4 people to 1, is just monitoring the situation right now.
Well,
I'm still keen for you to guys to carry on talking. I'm just saying that I'm on
Yeah.
ready and to go.
Yeah.
So, what is your decision then? As I'm afraid I must make it back home with relative speed.
He's not wronged us.
Quite true.
Tanith kind of looks at Lenore with like this look of, what the fuck? I
But
mean, he did murder someone.
will you let me finish? God.
I mean, you had a very long pause there.
You
Yeah,
did have
I
a
was
very
thinking-
long pause, I must say. I thought that
You
was
know
it.
what?
Can you please
Yeah,
talk to me
that's
a bit,
right.
Frankie?
Tanith's right. You murdered someone.
I did, yes, that's true. I've murdered actually quite a lot of people.
Oh boy. Lenore will jump down from the wagon. I really wish you hadn't said that, friend.
Oh, so do I suppose. He will draw his rapier. Very well. Please, avoid the mustache. It took me a very long time to grow. And he will lunge forward to attack. And we will end our session there.